Joe, obviously, Ike didn't find out till I guess Friday he was going to be in the starting lineup. What do you think of the way he played on a kind of short notice and that he's going to be in that position?
I thought Ike played really well for us. We made a lot of plays on the football, a lot of PBUs, pass breakups. Again, I had Ike in Denver, so I know what type of mentality he plays with. But I thought he competed. I thought he challenged their receivers. There was a few plays at the end that got away from us, but overall, I thought he did a nice job.
John, go ahead. How'd you feel about Jordan? Similar question, but for Jordan Howden stepping in that starting role.
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't too big for him. You know what I mean? There's some little things here and there. You go back and grade the tape where he could have been better on, but overall, I thought he handled it. I thought he was around the football. I thought he executed his job.
He mentioned after the game that he felt like there were a couple of plays where, 1 inch, 1 step, but that makes all the difference. Is that something that kind of comes with experience, or is that a teachable thing, or both?
No, it comes with experience. He's talking about the 3rd and 6th route where they ran the 7 cut. He was right there. They made a great play, but he was, inches away from making that play. But the more he plays, the more comfortable he's going to get, the more he's going to feel comfortable with our system. So he's going to continue to get better.
There's a 3rd down play late in the game where there was a kind of a ghost motion. He cut it off short and came back the other way. I think it's the play that we saw the Chiefs score on the 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Tyrann Mathieu kind of read that.
Yeah.
Is that just kind of an extraordinary play for a safety to pick that up?
That's That's the instincts. That's when you talk about experience, playing football, understanding what offenses are trying to do. That's him. It really wasn't his responsibility, but he saw it. And he saw the position that the corner was in, and he just came out of the post to help. But that's a vet play.
Yeah. Joe, what confidence do you have in Lonnie Johnson and Jonathan Abraham? They've got to step up this week if Howland has to be out.
Yeah, no issues whatsoever. I thought those guys played well from the off season through training camp. They got better every day. They've had game experience throughout this season, so I don't have any issues.
What is it about Lonnie Johnson that I guess just makes him a little bit different as a safety?
He looks like a tight end, runs like a receiver, but he's a very big, athletic player. He's capable of playing multiple positions. He's a guy that you can go match up on a tight end, or you go play at safety. He came into the league as a corner. Mm-hmm. The guy with that size, he's extremely athletic.
Joe, what have you made of Brian Bresee's first 3 games?
He's getting better. The ability's there. The size, very twitchy for his size. He's a 3-down player. He does a good job first, second down, stopping the run, but he gives us some pass rush inside. He can win those one-on-ones, but same thing. He's going to continue to get better throughout the season. But he's doing a nice job.
If you look at the numbers for guys. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of rookie defensive tackles make impact as a pass rusher early on in their career. What do you think has made that?
He's definitely doing that. Now, I know if you talk to Coach Grantham, there's probably a couple pass rush games that he's not executing exactly right. But again, the more he's out there working with other guys on the D-line, the better he's going to get. But again, so far, I feel like he's doing a good job.
Is his explosiveness something that's kind of uncommon at that position?
Well, for his size,
when
you see a guy that size, we do drills and he's giving me a little head shake. I'm like, man, this dude's 6'5", 300 pounds. Right. But he does. He has very good movement for his size.
Joe, obviously you're familiar with Baker.
Yeah.
Are you surprised with him landing another starting job in Tampa? And since you've had the experience with them, does it come to you surprised that he's in another spot, able to start as running another offense again in the NFL?
No, I love Baker. Very, very tough-minded player. Very, very competitive. I thought that he did a great job. My time when he was in Cleveland. Always took the blame. Praised others, but he just has that chip on the shoulder mentality, and he's going to prove people wrong, and he's really playing well. I think on 3rd down, he's number 1 rated quarterback right now in the NFL, but he's doing a good job getting rid of the ball, going through his progressions, but he has that tough mindset.
Is that something you're preaching to your guys, going, hey, especially, it's not that toughness,
yeah,
ability to extend plays, it's all those stuff.
It's all that. Yeah. He has a very strong arm. He can throw the ball anywhere. He can make all the throws. Again, he's athletic, so he keeps plays alive. And he's tough. He'll try to run you over, too, as a quarterback. But I think, just watching him, I think he's playing really well.
Are you surprised at all that, after all he accomplished coming out of college and where he was picked, that he's with his fourth team in the sixth season?
It's the nature of the NFL. Unfortunately, I'm not a quarterback coach. I can't answer that question. But my experience there with him, I just know from an athletic standpoint, from being able to make throws, from being able to go through progressions. I've seen him do that, just standing on the sideline watching him, and competing against him. In terms of what happened to him during his career, sometimes that happens. But I'm glad he landed on his feet, and I think he's doing a good job right now.
Is he doing something better now than you've seen him do in the past?
I'm looking at it from a different standpoint. It's different like when you're in practice and you're competing and you're running your defense against them. But now you're sitting back and you're studying them. I just really feel like he's making the right decisions. Not forcing the ball into coverage, taking what the defense is giving him. So right now I just think he's playing really well from that standpoint.
Yeah, for a guy like Ike going in, replacing Paulson, you're going to get targeted. Being across from Marshawn is just inevitable. What's kind of your messaging for a guy in that situation?
Just tell Ike to be Ike. Like I said, I told the story about why we drafted him, and he has that mentality. He wants to compete. That's not a conversation that I need to have. That's something he welcomes. And like I said, he fought his butt off. There's a few plays at the end that he gave up, but he was right there, and that's the way he played. So I have no concerns whatsoever.
Are you interested to see the Evans-Lattimore matchup up close?
It's going to be exciting. When you get two players at the top of their position going head to head, that's always exciting. I've coached against Mike. He's a tough receiver to deal with because of his size, speed, and catch radius. But Marshawn's going up against him, so I know it's going to be a battle.
So now that there's been time to look over the game from Sunday, what are kind of your biggest takeaways from the fourth quarter defense and where, the improvements or whatever needs to be made there?
You have to finish. You go into the fourth quarter with a shutout, and I think it was 17-3 with 8 minutes left. And in the NFL, it's never over. It's a game of momentum, and you have to give them credit because they made plays and we didn't. But down the stretch, just felt like we weren't executing in terms of our rushing coverage. Not enough detail in terms of what we were doing from a technique standpoint. And then obviously the penalties, they hurt us. I think it was 62 yards on 2 penalties. And it really just changed the whole dynamic of the game, especially playing up there in Lambeau.
Do you feel
time for one more?
Thank you. A sense of charge from the defense to kind of rebound from that?
Yeah, that's the case. I think it's tough. A tough loss for everybody. When you're going to the fourth quarter with a shutout. But you go back, you watch the tape, you make the corrections. What could you guys have done better in this situation, that situation? So I feel like the guys know that they let the game slip away. So I think they're going to go out and just try to finish better this week.
Thanks, Joe.
Appreciate it.